back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. And Doug, we've got a mighty big game that we need to talk about. We, as Alabama fans, of course, are approaching this game with apprehension. Georgia fans are beating their chest and their nuts on anything that is not nailed down about Georgia's season this year, and they have every reason to be very proud of what Georgia's put together. They have completely just dominated and destroyed nearly everybody that they played this year. There have been a couple close battles, but Georgia has not given up hardly any points this year at all season long.
They definitely look like they definitely look good.
We're going to talk about the SEC championship, and it usually, when we come into this conversation, is a pretty one-sided, all Alabama all the time conversation. But this year is very, very different. And joined with us tonight is frequent contributor Justin Brindley and Brent Cannon. Hadn't had you on in a while, man. What's going on, Dog fan?
Not a whole lot.
Dog fan
Saturday.
Yeah, it's and again, usually it's the Georgia folks that are kind of apprehensive, or is Nick gonna sneak one in on us again? And this year, Georgia is absolutely loaded, particularly on defense. We're probably watching maybe not the best, but one of the best defenses in college football history. Would you agree with that statement, Brent?
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as say the best, but it's up there on the list.
Oh, it's up there. Sure. This is coming from a BAMA fan. It is really, really hard to ignore what Georgia has put together defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think
this year.
I think I did the calculation.
Coming from an Alabama fan, we're used to seeing defenses like this.
Yeah. Real quick, let's see if Justin Brindley has a rebuttal to that.
Justin.
Here's my thing, and here's what I was mentioning before we even got started. I have the utmost respect because of how Georgia and where Kirby Smart came from. He came from the wings of Nick Saban. But disrespect towards Brent, disrespect towards Georgia. They have crushed teams all year long, but you got to remember, Bama has been battle tested. In a way, this comes into Alabama's favor because where they're fixing to face the toughest defense, I think, of all year, they're just mentally ready. And I can remember 2 or 3 years back when Bama was doing what UGA was doing this year, they faced a Clemson team that was very battle-tested that year, and just steamrolled us in the national championship.
But, Justin, I have to point out
I'm optimistic, but I know we'll be ready for Saturday.
I have to point out the fact, though, that this is 2021. And in 2021, what I saw just last week from the Alabama Crimson Tide versus their bitter rival, the Auburn Tigers, which is not really that great of an Auburn team. I think we can all agree there. They broke even, I believe, with this win. 7-5 or 6-6, I can't remember. It's one of the two. Because I don't really give a fuck about Auburn football. But, they did not really come into this game with any anticipation that they were going to be able to hang with Alabama. And you just mentioned the toughest defense that Alabama is going to face this year. So far, that was last week. Some people would also argue about the LSU game, about the fact that they completely shut down Alabama's run game. Completely. I mean, what did we get? 6 yards in that game?
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the missteps. And again, coming at you as an Alabama fan, those are the missteps that really cause me concern coming up against this Georgia team.
And I would like to ask one thing. Sorry, hold on. I'm really loud. Let me turn my shit down. Yeah. Damn. Okay, so the problems that Bama have, and it's on the, if I'm not mistaken, it's on the left side of the line? Or is it on the right side of the line? Okay, it's on one side. It's on one side of the center or the other. There's some bad shit going down, and you can't run that direction.
There's been problems under center, too, I might add.
And they're getting to the quarterback through that side of the line. Alabama has no run blocking, no pass protection. How do you correct that in 1 week?
Oof. That's going to be trouble.
That's going to be a good question. That's actually a very good question on that.
A team that is against a team that is also a kind of grown exponentially as the season's gone along. It's almost like watching the LSU championship squad, except this is kind of reversed where the offense was kicking ass all season long and the defense slowly started to catch up. And I think what we've seen with Georgia all season long, it's been nothing but defense all day, all long. And it's given the chance for the offense to kind of breathe a little bit and really perform well, particularly in the last few games.
But has anybody noticed that Bama is not really running tempo? They ran tempo against Auburn with that minute and 30 seconds left, and that's the only time they did it in the whole fucking game. So what's up with that? I can't figure that out. I think that's your only chance. If you're not pass protecting, you want to do it fast because they're coming. Yeah. They're coming, and they're going to get through that side of the line. So
easily running a slower pace is just going to give us our guys on defense more time to catch their breath in between plays. I mean, that's going to.
Yeah, but the problem with that is running this slower pace is also going to give the other team's defense a chance to lay.
You do not want that defense on a fresh set of legs coming into the late in the third quarter, going into the fourth. No, you do not. No, not this Georgia team. No,
There's no way Alabama beats Georgia unless they run. They need to run 80 plays. If they don't run at least 80 plays, I don't think they got a shot.
Or more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if the Terminator / Will Anderson and that front seven of Bama can get it together, I think they stop the running backs, and I think they make Stetson pass. And if Stetson, with the caliber of cornerbacks and safeties we got, I think Stetson will have a tough game because once you get Will Anderson locked in, then it follows suit with the defense.
Yeah.
So. You got to look at it that way because there's three players. No offense against Jordan Davis, he's having a stellar year, but you've got two guys on the defensive line, and you've got Will Anderson. All three of those combined are animals. They're just straight up animals.
I'm really shocked at the amount of people that I've seen that has picked Alabama. And I haven't picked on the game, and you know me, I'm an Alabama fan. I definitely hope Alabama wins the game. I don't know if I could pick Alabama. I definitely couldn't lay money on Bama to win straight.
Yeah, I wouldn't put money on this one. It's too like
too close to call. And but for me, there's always a saying: you never back up.
Right.
You never back an animal up in a corner because. Yeah. You know, if you back up an injured elephant or any injured animal, they're going to come out swinging as hard as they can and as quick as they can.
Yeah. See, and I got a question. Maybe y'all, some of those inside sources, your hashtag fake profiles could help you out answer.
Hang
on. So y'all ain't got one of them first round pick backup quarterbacks hanging in your back pocket again, do you? Because we've all seen how that story ends.
Well, we've got Bear Bryant's grandson hanging around somewhere, and I mean it's Bear Bryant's grandson. So, sorry, great grandson.
Yeah,
he's a good.
I just want to work with Auburn and Patrick Nix, young Bo Nix.
Yeah, just make sure y'all don't have one of them in the back pocket again. I don't want to repeat it.
Let me tell you
17 and.
Let me tell you what I've been hearing, and this is. I've been hearing this a lot, actually. What happens if Stetson Bennett gets shut down and Kirby gets a chance to do the same thing that Saban did?
He's got a good backup. I mean, he was the original starter.
Right.
Can I point something
he's got an arm on him.
I need to point something out really quick since we are talking about passing defense. Georgia is number 2 in the country with passing yards allowed, with just a mere 1,800 spread out over 12 games.
Think
about
for Georgia. We're usually not a good pass defense.
Yards. And again, we're not saying that every single team that Georgia has faced have had light them up quarterbacks, but that right there is a really, really concerning number particularly when you have an Alabama squad that has had to lean so much on the passing game, doing what it can do. I mean, I think we all can agree if Bryce Young can pull out something similar to what he did in the Auburn game, you might as well give him the trophy right there at the end of the game. Just be done with it.
And I'll make a note. I'd like to make a note. Go ahead, Brent.
On the other hand, if Alabama waits till halfway through the fourth quarter to start scoring points, I think it's going to be a little too late.
Way too late. And again, looking back, we're talking about Stetson Bennett's success against the Alabama squad. Alabama is currently ranked number 42nd in the country with 2,500 passing yards, which is over 200 yards a game.
Is it?
That's an extremely favorable statistic with Auburn, and I'm just now scratching the surface as far as where we're at, total rankings in the on the NCAA side right now.
Does anybody sense that this is maybe the biggest Alabama-Georgia SEC championship game there has been?
For me, I think what's so big about it is what we're fixing to watch Saturday is not only the SEC championship, but possibly the national championship game.
Yeah, it very well could be, because I would say whoever
wins this is probably going to most likely win the national championship, hands down.
So I have a theory.
You might see the game again. Say Alabama wins a close one. You might wind up seeing the same two teams for the national championship.
It's possible. I have a theory, though, on why this game is so big, and I think it's really big just throughout the country. I think that a lot of people see that Bama looks vulnerable, and Bama is the most hated team in the country, and everybody would love to see Georgia just clean their fucking clock.
But, at the same time, Bama is, and this is also one of those weird statistics that doesn't have anything to do with what's going to transpire on the field. But Nick Saban is a motherfucker when he is an underdog. The last 4 of the previous 5 games, which, as you can imagine, if Bama was an underdog, those had to be some pretty big games. And he's won 4 out of 5 of the last games. The last one I might add was UGA, 38-10, 2015.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, like Doug just mentioned, or Shannon just mentioned, when you got an injured animal or an injured, basically you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is when you get them like that, they're going to come out swinging no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bama may come out.
We don't expect anything less.
So now here's the deal. Now Bama may come out swinging, but they ain't going to come out running.
Oh no,
no.
And there's your problem. So.
Yeah. And that's a huge problem for Alabama to have, because they have had some wins this year that have been shored up by a solid run game. And Georgia does not allow anybody to run on them.
Oh no!
And I'll tell you what worries me about the game is kind of like dating a woman with bipolar. You never know which personality is going to show up that day. Because Alabama has had glimpses of greatness
there, buddy.
And Alabama's also had glimpse of who are these people? Like, they didn't show up to play. So you don't know which team's showing up Saturday.
And I always mention, anytime a team plays against Bama, they give us their best shot. They give us everything that they have and then some on the gridiron.
Yeah,
and
this is for the SEC championship game, so both teams are going to give it the best shot. But now,
but it's for more than that though. It's not just for the SEC championship. Like it's like a playoff for the playoff.
Now I'm going to say, I'm going to say this though: if this turns into a horse race, then I think Bama has the advantage.
It's going to have to be in the air, too, because, again, we're talking all this great stuff about Georgia's rushing defense. Alabama is right behind them nationally, 3-4, with allowing 2.42 yards a rush. And that's 967 yards versus Georgia's 947 yards. They're virtually even there. Yeah. Alabama's had there's been a few more rushing attempts by their opponents, but that's where we're at with it. That's going to be a big deal. This game is going to have to be won in the air.
Yeah.
And if that being the case, and Georgia's
got the upper hand in that department,
they most certainly did.
Yeah. Because I think that's where Alabama has, if you want to say bent but not broken quite this year, has been down the field in the past game.
Quite a few years. Alabama secondary has been a concern for Alabama fans for a hot minute now.
I mean, I think this is the first year in a while that Georgia's had a strong, if you want to call it a lockdown secondary. Because, I mean, that's always been kind of like our kryptonite is, we stop it up front, but we can't stop it downfield. But I think this year's quite different.
And you got to think, we've got Jamison Williams, we've got Mechie, we've got Holden, we've got Billingsley, we've got Latua. So it's what I like about Latua is where he played rugby. He is, if you get him in a good zone and a good rhythm, he can lay the thunder down on anybody on that defense if he wanted to.
He's got some good receivers that create some mismatch opportunities. I mean, in Georgia, it's the same thing. And I'm curious to see if George Pickens becomes a factor in this game. I know, he's been cleared. I mean, I think he played a little bit in the Georgia Tech game. But, it's almost in the back of my mind if, they were kind of saving him for this game to let him come back. And then the other, that Brock Bowers at tight end, like, he's a mismatch for anybody in the country. I mean, it's just, for a tight end, he's just crazy fast.
Yep.
And a one-on-one opportunity, I put money on him every time. I mean, there's not a corner that's going to hang with him with his size and his speed.
I mean, I guess what remains to be seen, and we're going to find out pretty quickly once this game gets kicked off, is Bryce Young going to have time? Is he going to have any time to do anything? And if BAMA does not run, they've got to run tempo. There is no way.
I mean, we saw it in the very, very last bit of regulation versus Auburn. Bryce Young, when he's clicking and the offense is clicking, they don't need much time.
Yeah, but Bill O'Brien is not running tempo most of the time, and I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only way they're going.
Maybe that's a discussion that took place during that. I mean, luckily we do have a teaching coach, and he always looks for teaching opportunities. Yeah. And this may have been a teaching opportunity for him and his offensive coordinator to say, "Hey, maybe we need to be doing this a little bit more often."
Well, let me tell you what. He almost taught us to go ahead and lose our second game because that's what almost happened.
Yeah,
almost.
I think one of the sayings I like to use, it don't take the head cashier at the local Walmart to figure out what was working in that game. And I'm pretty sure Saban saw it just as well as everybody else did, what wasn't working and then what did work. So I do look for there to be some changes on the way they attack things offensively.
You don't expect the same Alabama team that showed up to play Auburn to show up in Atlanta?
No.
Yeah.
Doug.
I mean, it would be great if it did for Georgia's sake, but I just don't see that happening.
Doug,
and you got to always remember and think on it. Anytime that they've had a close game, like Brent just touched on it, when they've had a close game, next week Saban just shuts down everything on that field with the game.
So what were you saying, Shannon?
Doug, who has more passing yards, Bo Nix or Stetson Bennett?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm going to say Bo Nix. If you wouldn't be asking the question if it wasn't Bo Nix.
That's correct. Bo Nix is currently he finished the year 70th in passing yards. Stetson Bennett is 84. So again, excuse me, 82. I don't want to push him further down the pile.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is a massive difference in how Georgia's offense is going to approach this game, and what Stetson Bennett is able to do, his abilities to be able to get that ball down the field. I mean, there are there's some bright spots for Alabama fans to be able to look for when they really start crunching numbers on this game. But the most important numbers that we've seen all season long are extremely dominant wins from Georgia, nearly week in and week out. They've had a couple. They each won by a not as great of a Clemson team as we originally thought. Still a good. Hey, Clemson is still a good team.
I still can't understand or explain looking at that game than looking at the rest of the season.
Well, you're also talking about the very beginning of the season. So the very beginning of the season is a very different. I mean, that's a different game for nearly every single program.
And I wonder,
learn from it, move on.
And I look back and I wonder if Daniels wasn't playing hurt in that game.
Perhaps.
So let me ask: was the Clemson game, was that the lowest rushing output that Georgia's had?
That was the lowest output period they've had.
So I wonder. I mean, have they been in a situation this year where they could not run in a game?
No, I don't. I mean, it's been slower in some games, but I don't think it's ever been completely shut down.
So that's what's going to have to happen for somebody to beat Georgia. Going to have to shut down their run game.
You got them because we're still. I mean, even though the passing game to me is more explosive than our run game this year, but we're still running a balanced offense. So I mean, if I was looking at it from your guys' side of view, I would try to make that Georgia team as one dimensional as possible.
So if Stetson Bennett is put into a situation where he's got to win with his arm, he hasn't had to do that this year at all, right?
No, we've been balanced.
Okay. Well, that's definitely the ticket. And then, of course, that's going to be what leads to the possibility of Kirby getting a chance to make if Bama can shut down Georgia's run, then you may see a reversal of what happened in 2017.
Yeah.
You may see Kirby go with, what's his name?
Daniels, JT Daniels.
Yes. So that's the kid from USC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, much better. I guess. Would you say he had a better arm than Stetson Bennett, or?
He's got more distance on him. I'll give. I mean that. Accuracy wise, I think they're 6'1", half a dozen the other, but Daniels has a little more strength on him, stronger arm.
All right, so if Bryce Young goes down, I don't know what you would see. I guess you would see Paul Tyson.
I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got one behind Paul Tyson that could play also a key factor if Young did go down as Milroe. He is a dual threat quarterback with legs.
Has he played any this year?
I think he's played a few games with mop-up duty, but he has got some legs to run on.
Yeah.
I'll have to look him up.
And that's the factor I like about Bennett. I mean, Bennett's not the fastest quarterback out there, but he's mobile, and that gives him an edge over Daniels.
Ranked number 77 in the country in rushing. That's disturbing. That's really, particularly for Alabama, which has fielded some amazing running backs over the past, it seems like a decade now.
Yeah.
When you think of Derrick Henry, Najee, well, not Najee, but Derrick Henry in particular, he's just absolute monster and has had a wonderful career in the NFL. But I mean, there are so many great running backs that have been sprinkled in between some really amazing quarterback talent, which we have here at Alabama. A lot of people think that because of his performance in the Auburn game and also the fact that, he's put up some really tremendous numbers, Bryce Young is the favorite.
Well, let's get to the meat here. What's going to happen in this fucking game, fellas?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 38-31 Alabama. I think it will be a high-scoring game, but I think in that fourth quarter is what will separate everything.
All right.
I'm going to go the opposite of that. I think I'm gonna say 31-17 Georgia's favor. I think defense is gonna. I don't see Bama putting up 30 points on that defense, in my opinion.
Come on.
But I don't.
Did you watch them last? Did you watch them last week? Shit, Alabama. I mean, Alabama put up 24 on Auburn, and we just got started at the last of the fucking game.
Yeah, the very, very last of the what was that fourth overtime?
Yeah. Right. I mean, y'all really played 2 games, so it took you 2 games to score 24 on.
Yeah,
something like that. It was pretty close.
Something like that. I don't know, man. For me, it's standing back and looking at this thing and watching Alabama with fear and dread, and also simultaneously watching Georgia with a little bit of fear and dread, knowing that eventually Alabama and Georgia would collide in the SEC championship game. It's been nerve wracking, and quite frankly, I kind of hate to even pick this, but I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be a very low scoring affair for both teams.
And another factor, you get
like maybe like a 24-17, and that probably I'm kind of thinking Georgia may get this one. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong.
And another factor you got to think of, the seniors on this Georgia team were on that 2017 team. They kind of left a little taste to be determined in their mouth, kind of maybe playing with a chip on their shoulder a little bit.
That was the taste of dick, is what that was. Yes.
Hey, you keep your extracurricular activities to yourself, okay?
No, that's what I saw that on TV. We'll Doug, you can do the clip there. The two. What is that? 2 and 28.
Yes, sir. 2 and 26.
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add.
I regret bringing that game up now. You're gonna go there.
That's probably
Con el pase largo tiene a su hombre. Touchdown!
3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Straight back.
So I hate to turn it this direction, but there is 3 Bama people here in one fucking mutt. Fuck those mutts and roll tide.
Roll tide, brother.
Hey man, appreciate it, guys.
Buy the Life Championship T-shirt today for the low breach of $23.49. You will never find a shirt like this again in your entire life. So don't be a tightwad. Cheap motherfucker. Buy this shirt today. Get that shirt and many others at the Smacking Off Spread Shop. Please remember smackingOff.myspreadshop.com for all of your Smacking Off apparel.
Smacking Off the Podcast's Battle of the Gurus.
What's going on, guys?
Yo. Not much. What up?
All right, so this is the we've been building toward this all season. This is the cream of the crop. We've got the highest ranked seed is Landon Beamon. He was number 4, number 3, 2, and 1 all got knocked out already. And Scott, I think you were like 10th.
10 seed. I don't know. Well, mid-major at best.
All right, so anyway, let's do these games. We'll start with the shitty games.
Yeah,
perfect.
And we'll start with the Conference USA Championship game, Western Kentucky at UTSA.
The Hilltoppers versus the Roadrunners. Interesting game. Very interesting game. UTSA caught that first L
last week.
Really hate it for the Roadrunners. Really hate it for them. But you know what? They're going to catch L number 2 because I'm going with the fucking Hilltoppers to beat them.
All right, Scott?
I'm on Western Kentucky, too. UTSA, they're not good.
All right. We're starting out in agreement. The MAC Championship. Kent State neutral site game with Northern Illinois.
Salukis.
Who?
Salukis, or isn't that what they are? Northern, or whoever they are. I'm taking Northern Illinois. It's not Salukis.
Aren't they the
Wolfpack? The Huskies.
Well, Huskies are some dogs.
All right, Scott down for Northern Illinois.
I'm gonna roll with Kent State again. Kent State already beat them once this year. Let's beat them twice.
That's Saban's alma mater.
Yeah, that's Nick Saban's alma mater. Let's do it. I mean, we pay the refs anyway. Why would Kent State not pay them?
Exactly.
So let's go with Kent State.
All right, there ain't much to talk about on these games, so we're gonna move right through these shitty games.
Yeah.
Mountain West, Utah State at San Diego State. San Diego State's got one loss. They're barely in the fucking top 25. But
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'll still take San Diego State.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. Fuck it. Give me the Aztecs.
Yeah.
all right, Sun Belt. We got App State at Louisiana Lafayette. If you want to throw that in there, they insist that they are now the University of Louisiana, though.
The Raging Cajuns.
Yep.
Home of
Same.
Canes.
And
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Napier's out of there already, right?
No, he's actually coaching the bowl game.
Is he?
Yeah.
Or I said the bowl game, the conference championship. He is. He's coaching it.
Oh.
Bonus money. Yeah, I'm taking him. Napier left you, Louisiana.
I'm gonna do the same. We get him a win. Last game of the season for him. Because
Will he not coach the bowl game?
I doubt he will. No, he'll go to Florida right after this. He'll do the conference championship, which is this, and then that'll be that. And plus, they've already played App State this year anyway. They won, I think, like 41-13. They beat their ass.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so one more group of 5 conference here. We've got the Pac-12 championship, Oregon versus Utah.
Oregon's going to rebound from that last ass whooping they got by Utah. They're going to get this dub.
I really think, Scott. I think the same thing. Played at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas.
So.
I'd love it.
We're getting into some more serious games here in a second.
Oh, that tiebreaker.
All right, the Big 12, Baylor versus Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'm going to roll Oklahoma State
Just
as
got to
well.
think their offense is going to be better than Baylor's defense.
Well, I think Tim Bailey's going to be a lot happier if Baylor wins this game.
Oh, yeah. Baylor's playing a backup quarterback.
He's not happy with Oklahoma State right now.
No,
or the officials in the game.
upset.
Oh, is he the Oklahoma guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Timmy.
All right, the ACC. This is a weird-looking championship game. No Clemson whatsoever.
Yeah.
Pitt versus Wake Forest.
Oh, God. Take the over.
Sure, no defense. Pittsburgh. What's his name's going to get him? Try to get him. Just take Pitt.
Yeah,
better quarterback.
Too. Give me Kenny Pickett over Sam Hartman.
Exactly.
Yeah, he looks good. I've watched
good.
Pitt a couple times this year. Not all the way through, but he's impressive.
Take it for Heisman.
Fuck that. That may be all Bama has here. Maybe.
Right.
It is. It is all we have.
All right. Now this is probably the most meaningful American Athletic Conference championship ever. We've got a very good Houston team going to Cincinnati.
Man, I hate to pick Cincinnati, but I'm going to. I don't want them to be in the Final Four, but
Gonna be a lot of pressure on the Cincy team. And Houston, it's
they're trying to ruin their season.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, for real.
I'm still going Cincinnati.
Yeah, I might have to go Cincinnati as well.
And then they're going to get just drugged by whoever they play in the playoffs.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, Cincinnati's schedule is just so ass. God, it's ass.
They've had so many games they should have lost already this year. I was saying, but they kept Notre Dame out, hopefully.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No one's even talked about this, but I think this would be hilarious. What if Alabama beats Georgia? So you got Georgia and Alabama in the playoff. Iowa beats Michigan, and then Baylor beats Oklahoma State. Guess who's going to the playoff? Notre Dame.
So, yeah.
And guess who's not going to have a head coach? Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
How stupid Brian Kelly would look?
That'd be funny if they're, yeah.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Then I'd want him to win and not to let him get anything to do with the trophy or ring.
All right. Speaking of the Big 12 championship, I'm sorry, the big championship. You got Michigan and Iowa in Indianapolis.
Michigan. All day.
Yeah, give me the Wolverines. Fuck Iowa.
All right, I'm not in this, but I'm gonna say this. It's not gonna shock me if Iowa wins this game because the emotional impact of beating Ohio State for the first time since 2012. That's a man, and this is just a week later. This team's gonna be flat. I don't give a fuck if it is for the big championship. They may still have enough to beat Iowa because Iowa is one of those teams that.
Iowa's offense is just so
horrible
and so terrible. Oh my god! And watching them is like watching paint dry.
I would love to watch Wisconsin and Iowa play in a game. 3-0, maybe.
It is really not. It's not a great championship game weekend. I'm realizing this now that we've gone over these games.
Last week's games were
Here's your cream of the crop, and the line says that it's going to be a competitive game, and it may be a competitive game, but we've got UGA and BAMA in Atlanta.
Oh God, I'm just gonna grab my favorite beverage and just watch. I took the under in the game.
50.5, good number.
Yeah, 51. I got it at 51.5.
Oh wow.
Well, there's a lot of people that still think Bama's going to win this game, and I'm not saying they're not. I have a hard time making it work in my brain that Bama could win this game, but you've got that Saban factor, and that's a very powerful factor in people's minds. They say, they've seen this kind of shit before, and this is when Saban teams are at their best.
I took Auburn last week get the points because I knew Bama wasn't gonna. Bama's not gonna blow them out.
When Auburn plays Alabama in Jordan Hare, I always take Auburn in Jordan Hare. Always. There's never even a doubt. I don't care if they're 1-11.
Shouldn't have been that close as it was, but they're saving everything for this week against Georgia.
I
wish I could say that.
Did you see
this is the championship game.
Did y'all see how different Bama looked when first off, they tried to go through the motions on that last drive, the second to the last drive. They come up to with a 4th down and 1, and they could not fucking convert a 4th down and 1.
Haven't done it all year.
No.
When Alabama's needed to get 1 yard, they can't get 1 yard on the ground.
When they got that second last chance, which, it's possible that Auburn was going to get a 1st down and it would have been over. When they got that second last chance, they looked totally different. They ran very fast.
Tempo.
Yeah, tempo that had not really done all game.
Yeah, they haven't done it all year because our offensive coordinator's a fucking idiot.
So
Bill O'Brien's a moron. That's
the X factor. If Bama comes out and they run tempo and somehow do it successfully, and that gets them into a groove where all of a sudden they can run a little bit too, I don't know what the fuck will happen. I think that Bama matches up well. At their ceiling, they match up well. At their floor, this team could get fucking blown out.
If Bama gets off, let's say they go up 10-0 or get a lead early, little Stetson Bennett's going to be worried. I don't think he's a big pressure guy.
Oh, if we
he's
get
been
up,
playing
Kirby will make a quarterback change.
Yeah, JT might see.
He wants to make a switch on Saban so bad to get back at him, and he wants to do it. I know his ego's too big. He wants to do it so bad.
All right, guys, y'all go ahead and pick Georgia so I can mark this shit down.
Yeah, give me Georgia.
Fuck.
Really? Really, Scott?
I'm honestly really debating it because, I've already bet.
Have you seen our O-line?
Yeah, I know. It's very true. I took Bama plus 6.5.
I'm not saying that we won't cover.
I know. This is straight up. I think they will too, but I'm taking Bama.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, the fucking Bama guy took Georgia and the fucking Auburn guy took Bama. I'm sorry. This is perfect. All right. We will need the tiebreaker, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, we will.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bama's going to get, points scored. Bama's going to get 31.
Okay, and you definitely got to go first on that one because you had the balls to pick Bama. All right, so whoever gets closest to the score without going over wins the tiebreaker.
Closest to Bama's score, right?
Yes.
I'm going to say 31.
All
right, I'll say 27.
Wow.
All right, and if y'all both go over, it's the closest to it. So give Landon the win in the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're
All
wrapping
right.
this motherfucker up, and I guess we'll do
Cool.
something. We'll do something for the bowl games with the top 4 performers.
The undisputed champ, Landon, 3 years in a row.
Oh, you talking about in the bowl games?
And the bowl picks. I've won that thing 3 years in a row.
Oh, you're talking about on the pick'ems, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do something in the podcast.
The bowl picks is what I'm talking about. The Capital One bowl picks.
Yep.
I've won those things 3 years. I'm Osborne of #Family and College Football Frenzy.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty, you
Good
too.
to talk to y'all. Yeah.
Later.
Roll Tide,
All right.
Scott.
War Eagle.
Support this podcast by going through our Amazon affiliate store to purchase great products. You only need to go to smackology.life/Amazon, click on any product link. You do not have to buy that product. If you purchase anything at Amazon after following our link, we will get a small commission, and it will help us build our Amazon affiliation for the future. Thank you in advance for supporting our podcast.
This 45 here, man. I'm ironing my clothes. I'm getting ready to go out and start drinking. I put $500 on the under on the Cowboys Saints game. It's a 10-17 2-minute warning. I'm sweating it out.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Was the Raiders gift to you? Is that what financed your trip to Las Vegas?
Well, no. I mean, I would like to say yes, but this week it's fuck the Raiders.
Okay.
They're playing the Washington football team.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, they made you a lot of money.
They did. And they're my
So-
favorite football.
So this is a tough game for you to watch, then, isn't it?
It's kind of how I like Ole Miss and Tennessee. You know how
Yeah.
that situation. Now, my heart's always hotty-toddy. So Ole Miss is like Washington, and Tennessee's like the Raiders.
Oh, and it's all about hotty-totty right now. Ole Miss is just, spow this year. The Lane train is moving ahead full steam.
And you know, Lane Kiffin ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he would be. I think he would be really wise to sit on this and build just a little bit. I think more so because he has the reputation that he's there for a few seasons, then he's gone. Which, at USC, I guess we can all agree that wasn't necessarily his fault. This would kind of cement that, or at least dispel that legacy of Lane's just here for a few years, build a program, and then on to bigger, better things.
And I've said that. And I've said that since he got. This is a destination for Lane. He can recruit here. He gets to rival. I mean, he's in his second year, and look what he's doing.
I don't think he got any calls from Florida or LSU, to be honest.
So let me ask you this question: you think he gets Art Manning? What do you think happens? You think he'll leave?
I've heard that that the Mannings do not like Kiffin. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. If the Mannings didn't like Kiffin, then Lane Kiffin wouldn't be following. Lane Kiffin wouldn't even be trying.
Well, and that's also probably because of his previous relationship at Tennessee. Remember, the Mannings are not only the darlings of Ole Miss, but they also have a rich tradition with the Tennessee Vols with Peyton.
Yeah, but I mean, are you really? I mean, this ain't 1998 no more.
I have heard,
well, and that's kind of where I think that's where because everybody changes as they grow, and we have certainly watched Lane Kiffin grow from what could be at times an exciting young coach to watch grow into he's a winner. You can look at what he did at Florida Atlantic. And Florida Atlantic isn't really a piddly team, but they're not supposed to have the type of success that he brought them to as quickly as he did. And the same thing with Ole Miss. Ole Miss's program was just depleted. The Hugh Freeze scandal, then Luke came in and just took a shit everywhere. And this was on the heels of the Ed Orgeron tenure. I mean, really, Ole Miss football's had some really, really, really bad luck with head coaches, and suddenly Lane comes in just a couple of years has them ranked in the top 10 at the end of the season. Holy crap, that's Ole Miss. Yeah, that's big news, man.
Yeah, No, I get it. But Lane ain't going nowhere. Did you see the picture? That was picture of the year to me. When it was, Matt Carroll, Lane Kiffin sitting on that bus with the Egg Bowl trophy.
I mean, and there's going to be probably a lot more of that. I will say, though, that if Leeds can figure out a way to get his defensive woes in check, Leeds is going to be a lot of trouble. Come out, and the state of Mississippi is as a whole is going to be a lot of trouble for a lot of these teams, particularly in the SEC West.
Let's talk about a few of these big games coming up. I mean, there's really 3 championship games that have CFP implications, and I don't give a fuck about the other ones, to be honest. I could give a shit less about the ACC, the PAC, but hey, we've got the AAC championship, and that is the biggest group of 5 conference championship game ever.
I mean, we're a group of 6 now when we talk about the AAC.
No,
speaking of conference championship,
you mean Power 6?
Speaking of
Power 6, yes.
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix. I get on the plane, so I go to DC straight to Phoenix, Phoenix to Vegas. When I got on that plane from from Phoenix to Vegas, it looked like I was on the fucking wrong plane. There was nothing but Oregon Ducks and Utah fans. So the game's being played tomorrow here in Vegas, the Pac-12 championship.
Yep.
But it doesn't even really matter to me.
No, it don't mean anything. The game means nothing.
You ought to go by. There's probably going to be tickets available. You probably get 5 minutes after kickoff, and you probably go buy a ticket off the Scalper for like $10.
So
I don't care to watch it.
But I mean, it would be fun just to attend it, just to say you attended it. I mean, just sneak in for 20 minutes. What's it going to kill you? You're Justin Pike, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm Justin Pike in Las Vegas at the Pac-12 championship.
President Justin Pike, but still my president as far as I'm concerned.
So, go ahead. Hello?
Say that again? There's some shit going on over there.
I really need the fucking Saints to get a fucking stop right here, and they just can't do it. Amari Cooper is just doing whatever he wants to do.
Don't blame it on Amari.
Grow tired.
He probably went out drinking last night, and he's hungover.
You know what I'm saying? He's doing whatever he wants to do.
Well, I mean, some people play better with a hangover. Some people play better on LSD. Remember Doc Ellis? Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter, and he was high as a kite on acid.
Some people sell furniture good on a hangover. That's what I used to do.
So how about them Houston?
Have you ever sold furniture on acid, though?
I think Cincinnati will win just like a boring, ugly game. You know what I mean? Like a 24-21. But if you're betting on it, I think that Houston plus 10.5 is just like the biggest no-brainer of the weekend. I really do.
And that's your Justin Pike lock of the week.
Yeah, my lock of the week.
How about Michigan and Iowa?
I about think Harbaugh will come in and fucking lay an egg.
I do believe that Michigan is 10-point favorites as well, right?
10.5 is what I saw.
Okay.
Which, same thing. Well, when you get that hook, that 10.5, you know what I mean? All of a sudden it's 31-21 your final score, and you take that 10.5. That half a point matters a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
But, I don't know. Michigan should win.
Michigan is, by all indications, this is the very best Harbaugh team we've seen yet.
You do realize, though, that this was their first win over the Bucknuts since 2011. So it had to be. There is no way that
that man had after that game. Man, I bet he probably came like gallons. He was so backed up after that game because that really, man. You have to go your whole entire tenure, practically. When did Harbaugh start at Michigan? What year?
2016, I think.
Been like 6 years, I think.
Yeah, that's a long time to go without beating your most bitter, hated rival.
So
particularly when you come in with the accolades that Harbaugh did.
Yeah. The whole losing streak doesn't belong to Harbaugh. Some of it belongs to the fellow before him, but.
And look. To be fair, are we witnessing? And God forbid that I say this on this podcast, but are we witnessing the beginning of the actual true genesis of what Jim Harbaugh has been trying to put together in Michigan? Do you think that this may be just a flash in the pan?
I think it's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of people shit on Harbaugh, which I don't think is fair. When he left Stanford, he was dominating UCLA and Pete Carroll out in fucking USC. You know what I mean? He was ruling the Pac-12. Now, he did have Andrew Luck, who was probably the greatest college quarterback since, LA? But with that being said, he still won. He went to the San Francisco 49ers. He took over a really I think it was a 5-11 team. Took Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. Yeah, he lost. But, I mean, I think Harbaugh's a great coach. And it's like you're firing all these guys like Harbaugh, who's now number 2 in the playoffs. They were wanting to fire him a year or two ago. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they were. People were calling.
I mean, there might have been some fans, but Michigan, as far as the power structure at Michigan, that they ain't wanted to fire Harbaugh. I don't think they felt like they had anybody that could replace him with. I mean, we're not talking about a guy who was losing. He's a winning coach, and he was winning at Michigan. He just wasn't beating his rival.
No, I get it.
But anyway,
I mean, that's what you got to do. You gotta win against your rivals. But I mean, it's hard to beat Ohio State. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not talking about just any rival. We're talking about a team that was in the playoffs frequently, not every year, but they were in, under Urban Meyer and under the new guy. I mean, they've been right.
What do y'all think I should do? I'm in Las Vegas. What should I do? Is there something y'all are looking at that y'all just think's going to happen?
Lay your balls on that thing that spins real fast.
I would definitely. I would get a hooker. I would get some blow, and I would go to the Pac-12 championship. I'm just saying.
No, I ain't doing that.
Why don't you get some blow and a hooker, and then go to the Pac-12 championship game and Facebook live stream the whole entire thing? With you hanging out with
about 5 years ago,
and then going to the bathroom every once in a while, and you got to pull the camera away. You can't really show yourself doing the actual blow, but just you do the blow, and then you go and you bang the hooker later after the Pac-12 championship.
5 years ago, I actually did 2 out of 3 of them things in Vegas at a bachelor party. I'm not going to tell you.
So this would be your second Pac-12 championship you've been to. Yeah.
Just do what I said.
What happens in Vegas?
I go all the time to
Vegas.
Just do what I said. Do what I said, Justin. Go lay your balls on the craps table.
No, do what I said. The hookers and blow. Hookers and blow is worth that.
A lot of people, I've been drinking a little bit. I want to get this off my chest too. A lot of people, they be hating on me, calling me retarded, dumb. I do this, I'll do that. I live it the fuck up. I mean, I was at Monday Night Football in D.C., and then 4 days later, I'm out here in Vegas. You know what I mean?
Let me stop you.
So what you're trying to explain to everybody that doesn't know already, because there's a lot of stupid people online, that you're a winner, and they're not.
Well, there's a lot of people like that. They don't like me and shit. You know what I'm saying? They say that I lied, I'm fake.
Let's back up. Let's back up for a second. You said you've been drinking a little bit.
I went down and got me a pint of James.
Yeah, but have you?
While I walked in.
I was looking for the video, and I can't find the video of you drinking the piss.
I haven't drank the piss yet.
What happened? I thought that was happening on Friday.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think if you're already a little tipsy, I know when I get tipsy, I got to pee. You're going to have to pee pretty soon. Why don't you just go ahead and just get it over with and be done with it?
Well, you know what pisses me off? All these people that want me to drink the piss, like, I drink the piss, and then they tell me I didn't drink the piss. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of those.
I'm sitting here drinking piss, and these motherfuckers think I ain't drinking piss, and I'm sitting there chugging piss.
That's like them screaming up at Jesus.
It's not even worth it after that point, you know.
That's like people telling Jesus he didn't get hung on the cross. I mean, it's disrespectful. I mean, you basically laid down yourself and you drank the piss, and then you got people saying that it was apple juice. I don't know.
Yeah, that piss is your cross, and you hung on that cross. You died for their sins.
It's just it's frustrating. I'll say that. So okay, guys, check this out. 13-7 halftime. I got $500 on this. So I gave the cashier $100 bills.
Yes.
If this game goes under 45.5, I'm going back down to that cashier, and he's giving me $9 954.
Let me
So you're going to take that 954 pins, spend 500 on a mid-grade hooker, the rest of it on blow, and you're going to the Pac-12 championship because you should be able to get tickets if you go about 10 minutes after they start for like $10 a piece.
Well, I'm looking at Pac-12 championship. The cheapest one to get in $63. One thing I want to talk about while we're on here, y'all know I'm a big baseball fan, Washington Nationals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yes.
The New York Mets signed my favorite pitcher of all time, Max Scherzer. Y'all know who Max Scherzer is?
No,
yes.
I don't.
The guy with two color eyes, and they won the championship. He's their ace pitcher, Hall of Famer, arguably the best pitcher in the last 20 years. Signed to the New York Mets. Remember how he lost, Bryce Harper, how we lost Bryce Harper?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it feels. But I don't have the same effect like Bryce Harper just left us. You know what I mean? We traded Scherzer at the end of the year, but he signed in our division, which, the Mets, the Braves, the Nationals, and the Miami Marlins were all in the same division, but we got to see Max. So it just
formerly the Florida Marlins.
It just sucks. And he's with the New York Mets, and he's with Jacob deGrom, who's arguably, if Scherzer's not the best pitcher in the last 20 years, it's deGrom. And them two are on the same team now. So that just sucks.
Okay, so I don't think Matt Brooks is going to jump on. Do you think Iowa? You think Iowa in 10.5 is a good?
No, I don't. I think Michigan will cover it.
Okay. All right. So we got to ask you about one more. Go ahead.
Iowa is the worst. Iowa is the worst 10-win football team I've ever seen. Have you watched them at all? Have y'all watched them?
I don't know, man. I've seen some Wisconsin teams. So I think Beamon was the head coach.
Dude, this Iowa team couldn't even move the ball in Nebraska.
Yeah, terrible offense.
I mean, they have a decent defense. Bimba don't break. They have what they really have better than anything. Iowa is their special teams. They were losing to Nebraska like 25 to. It was like 26-9 in the third quarter with 2 minutes left. Like Nebraska had the game. Iowa goes out there and blocks a punt for a touchdown. All of a sudden, it changed the momentum of the game. You know what I mean? Nebraska's lost, I think, what was it, 10 games this year? 9, 10 games by 7 points or fewer? And it's like,
it's ridiculous, yeah.
All right.
Heartbreaking if you're a Nebraska fan, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, this is Nebraska kind of reminds me of how Tennessee is.
Well, let's talk about the
SEC. There's a lot of similarities between those two programs because the last great Nebraska team was right around the time that we had the last great Tennessee team.
I'm pretty sharp.
So how about that SEC championship game?
You know what? Yeah, I don't want to pick Alabama. This is the one year. You guys know I hate Alabama. I shit on Alabama all the fucking time.
Sure.
Anytime I can get a jab in for Alabama, I'm always doing it. But damn, how fucking funny would that be if they beat Georgia in the SEC? I mean, just take away who you like and all that bullshit. But the way Georgia fans have acted this year, how damn funny would that be if Alabama went in there and beat them?
That would be hilarious.
Hey, as an Alabama fan, I'm all for that scenario. However, reality is reality.
Yeah. But, I think that even if Alabama beats them, Georgia's still getting in. So it wouldn't be the end of the world necessarily for Georgia.
No, and it wouldn't be the end of the story for either one of them because there is a chance that they may face each other either in the semis or most likely the championship game if they're able to survive their.
That's kind of what they did back when it was, like Tula and Fromm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we're going to hear a lot of yang from every other conference fan, particularly Big Ten fans, about SEC favoritism and so on and so forth. But, I mean, really, the eye test is that Alabama and Georgia are two of the best programs in college football in 2021. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it. Right now, Michigan is in that conversation.
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think Georgia's the best team in the country? I do.
I do. They certainly have passed the eye test as far as I'm concerned. They are scary good this year, particularly on defense.
Yeah, I agree. But who's second? Like, you don't have that second this year.
I don't know. I don't know if they're the best team in the country. I think they're good. There's not a lot of standout teams this year. Georgia, I agree with something you said earlier, and you're probably actually trolling. If the Georgia played in the SEC West, they would definitely at least have a loss.
They'd have a lot. They wouldn't have
you're right.
They wouldn't have 3. But
right. No, but they'd have a loss.
Well, and I think I pointed it out early that, Georgia's passing defense is not among the best in the country. And the SEC West has been loaded with some excellent quarterbacks this year. Matt Corral, Will Rogers, and, of course, Bryce Young.
Well, y'all know how Alabama and Georgia stack up in common opponents. But can either of y'all tell me, out of these two teams, who has the best win?
Who has the best win?
Yes.
I mean, the SEC's been just so flatlined this year.
Oh, I know, but just seriously, who has beaten the team that's highest ranked right now?
That would be Alabama with their win against Ole Miss.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, sorry, buddy, but you were talking about Johns in Alabama. You walked into that one.
It is what it is.
I'm an Ole Miss fan, but that's ridiculous.
But are you saying that Ole Miss is not Alabama's best win?
They are.
Throw the rankings out. I would argue that maybe that win in Auburn probably might have been the best one. Because it's hard to win in Auburn. You saw what Ole Miss did down there. Ole Miss looked like they never played before in their life.
Apparently, you didn't watch the first 58 minutes and 30 seconds of that game.
Yeah, because Auburn definitely looked to be the best or the second best defense in the SEC.
Yeah, but when it's the Iron Bowl, I get it. But, I mean, you're out there to, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about winning.
Well, and the SEC championship isn't.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
We're talking about for all the brass marbles, but it's kind of weird for both teams going in knowing that there is a chance if Alabama loses close that they're still going to get into the playoffs. There is that chance.
Yeah.
All right, you want to make a prediction on this one?
My prediction is Alabama covers the 7. Give me Alabama +7 in the SEC championship game.
All right.
That's my lock.
And that's Justin Pike, SEC championship lock of the week.
I see y'all. I'm about to go downstairs and party.
Later.
Justin Pike, later, brother.
Visit the Smacking Off the Podcast Amazon store for awesome collegiate apparel. And help to support the podcast by making a purchase. Go to smackology.life/Amazon.